YouTube, what is up? So today we're gonna be doing some labs. Again, I got a lot of good comments from you guys in the CCNP videos, the Encore, the ENARSI. So the next step is logically to help you guys figure out what labs to do. Today we're gonna be doing a lot of labs that I did for the ENARSI, and then maybe another day I'll do some more labs for the Encore to show you guys. Stick around. This is probably gonna be an hour-long video. What I'll probably do is I'll post this whole video raw, uncut, and then I'll grab it, shorten it up for each different topic. For example, this topic we're going to be doing right now is going to be a DMVPN lab. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do to really recreate this, and I'm going to let you guys know, I'm going to give you guys like the configs, like I'm going to be doing it step by step, because what I personally never like doing is hopping on a YouTube video and someone will show you the topic, but they leave out like a certain config that makes it work, and then you're just like stuck trying to troubleshoot for 30-40 minutes. Like, that's a good learning process, you got to figure it out, but for the sake of being transparent, I wish more people would like show the full config so you can see, oh, that's why that happened, you know. But so first thing you're going to want to do is have a router, basically be your ISP router. You can think of this like the cloud, almost going to the internet. So an ISP router or the internet, you can consider it. And then you're gonna want to have a branch router, two branch routers really, branch 1, branch 2 is what I call it, and a hub. So DMVPN, you guys should already know what it is if you've been studying for it. So really, we're just gonna be talking about how to configure it. What I'm gonna do is show you guys how to do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and talk about the differences, and then we'll move on to the next lab. So I'm gonna start this up. We're in Cisco modeling labs right now. Let's give it some time to start up. While that starts up, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna configure next hop resolution protocol authentication on this. We're gonna be doing freaking hair from my dog somehow. We're gonna be doing static IP to MBMA address maps with the whole time configured network ID, all that. We're gonna do that on the other branch router as well. And then we're going to be doing this phase 2 and phase 3 so you guys can see the difference. And while that waits to start up, let's go ahead and talk about some things we're going to be doing on the hub. So on the hub, you already see here I put the IP addresses, so hopefully that's more helpful. But we're just going to be configuring the IP addresses on the interfaces, and then we're going to be setting up the tunnel. I'm going to name tunnel 0, and then we're going to be setting up everything that goes into it. Like the authentication. For authentication is going to be something like IP NHRP authentication. I'm going to do CCNP 123 for example. Alright, here we go. They're starting up, so let's get right into the hub. Let's go. Let me move this up a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this good. So boom, enable, we're going to go config host name hub. Boom. Interface, gig 1, IP address, what is it, 10.10.255.10/32, boom, no shut, exit. We're going to go into the loopback interface, loopback 0, going to give it IP address 10.10.1.1 and that /32 since it's the loop back. You don't really need to do no shut, but I like to be extra safe. Gonna get out of there, and then we're gonna configure the tunnel interface, tunnel 0, IP address, boom, 192.168.1.254, 255.0. Boom. Now we're gonna start configuring the DMVPN. So really so we're gonna set up the hub completely right now, but then so you guys can see on the branch routers, we're just gonna set it up normally, and then we're gonna be moving on to the steps to configure the branch routers to be able to talk with the hub through the tunnel. Alright, so next step is next hop resolution protocol authentication CCNP 123. IP next hop resolution protocol, network ID, we're gonna do 100, hold time, 5 minutes, which 5 minutes, it's actually in seconds, so 60 times 5, 300. Alright, IP next hop resolution protocol. Let's see, next hop server. The next hop server is usually always the tunnel address. I'm gonna do a MTU for this. And also the maximum segment size. Boom. We're gonna give it a tunnel source, 10.10.255.10, which is the physical interface gig 1 that we did earlier. Tunnel mode, GRE, multi-point. We're gonna do the key, tunnel key, 100. Gonna exit. We're gonna put EIGRP on it. 100. Network 10.10.255.0. Boom. And that's it. That's it for the hub. That's it for the hub. Now we're gonna configure the ISP. Let's go. Alright, boom, enable. ISP is gonna be simple, host name. Jesus, I'm not even. Host name, ISP, interface, gig 3, boom, IP address, 10.10.255.9, put it on the /30 subnet, boom, no shut, let's do interface, gig 1, and we're going to do IP address 10.10.255.1, another /32, boom, no shut, exit, interface, gig 2, IP address 10.10.255.5/30, boom, no shut, and oh no, actually we got to go back into IGRP. 100 network 10.10.255.0. All right, so now let's hop into the interesting piece, which is the branch routers. So let's start off with branch 1 first. Boom. So branch 1, real simple. Let's give it the host name first. BR1. Gonna go into the interface, gigabit 1. Gonna give it IP address 10.10.255.2, 255.255.255.0, and we're gonna do a no shut. I'm just looking at my notes here so we can go through this quickly and you guys can see again step by step everything I did on my notes to configure this. So boom, no shut. We're not gonna configure the tunnel because I want you guys to understand what we have to do to set up the DMVPN. So right now we're just doing the physical interfaces. That's it. That's all we're doing right now. So I'm gonna hop on branch 2, enable, const hostname BR2, interface gig 1, and we're gonna do IP address 10.10.255.6. 255. Got 6, boom. No shut. Exit. So right now, can branch 2 or branch 1 talk to the hub? So let's see. dual ping 10.10.255.10. Boom. We can do show IP route 10.10.255.10, and boom, it's known be a disconnected route, and then after that EIGRP is finding it. Alright, so let's go ahead. When you have connectivity already between the actual physical or underlay, I should say, this, you gotta think about the tunnel like an overlay network under the physical underlay network. So now we know the underlay network has connectivity, so now we're gonna be setting up the tunnel or the overlay. So to accomplish this, we're gonna go to BR1 and we're gonna start setting up the tunnel. So boom, interface tunnel 0, IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.0. We're going to be setting up the authentication like we did at the hub so they can talk to each other. CCNP 123. IP next hop resolution protocol map is always good to into your head. This helped me a lot in my CCNP. I realized the first IP address is always the tunnel, and then the second one is the actual physical. So try to remember that if you can. So boom, the tunnel IP of the hub, and then the physical IP of the hub. Alright, IP next hop resolution protocol. Then after the map, you hit it with the map multicast, and that's just gonna be the physical interface again. Gonna do the same network ID. Gonna do the same hold time, 5 minutes or 300 seconds that we talked about earlier. And then we're gonna do the next hop server, which is gonna be the tunnel IP address, not the physical. So boom, next hop server, and then we're gonna be doing IP shortcut. Boom, IP MTU 1400, segment size 1360, tunnel source 10.10.255.2, tunnel destination 10.10.255.10, same tunnel key as the hub 100. Boom. So you already see some messages are coming up. We're gonna go set up, you see the tunnels up right here. We're gonna go set up the branch 2 router, and then we're gonna test connectivity between the tunnel. And again, because we're using tunnel destination on the command that we did earlier, for example right here, this makes it phase 1 DMVPN. If we were to move to phase 2, we would change the tunnel interface to tunnel mode GRE multipoint and remove the tunnel destination command. Alright, so let's go to branch 2, and it's gonna be really the same thing, just with different IPs. Interface tunnel 0, IP address 192.168.1.2, 255.255.255.0. Boom, authentication, CCNP 123. Map. What did we say the first thing is? The first thing is the tunnel. So boom, the tunnel IP of the hub. Then the physical interface. Boom. The map. Multicast is just gonna be the physical. Alright. Boom. Network ID. What did we say it was? 100. And then the whole time, again, 5 minutes. Let's go. Almost there, almost there. Next hop server, again, that's gonna be the tunnel. The total IP address. Boom. Let's go, let's go. IP next hop resolution protocol shortcut. Boom. Do the MTU. 1360. And then we're gonna do tunnel source 10.10.255.6, tunnel destination 10.10.255.10, tunnel key, 100, boom. All right, so let's get out of there. All right, so moment of truth. Can branch 1 or branch 2 through the tunnel get to the hub? Can it? Let's find out. You see it's coming up. So let's go ahead and do a ping 192.168.1.254, which is the hub. Boom, successful. Now let's try to ping branch 1 through the tunnel from branch 2. Boom, successful. Let's do a trace route so you guys can see. Damn, my nose itchy though. Alright, so trace route 192.168.1.1. It should go to the hub because we're doing phase 1 right now. So let's wait for it. So the hub's IP address, and then it's gonna get to the branch 1 eventually. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and make this phase 2. So before we do that, let's do a show running interface tunnel 0. Boom, so we can compare branch 1, branch 2, and let me do this, probably be better for you guys. Boom, branch 2, bada bing, bada boom, hop up in the room. What's up, baby? Pitbull, bro, it's Saturday, bro. You guys gotta forgive me, bro. I'm in the Saturday mood. Alright, I don't even know what I'm typing. Show running, not config. Show running interface, tunnel 0. So boom. Let's go over the config real quick. So the IP address, the MTU, authentication, you see they match. The map again, tunnel, physical. Map multicast is always gonna be the physical. The network IDs match, hold times match. Next hop server is this, the tunnel IP of the hub. And then we're gonna do shortcut, tunnel source, tunnel destination. Again, this makes it phase 1. So let's go back to branch 1, boom, interface, tunnel 0. We're gonna do no tunnel destination 10.10.255. We're just removing that command. And now we're gonna do mode GRE, or what is the command? GRE multi-point. Jesus, I haven't done this in a while. Tunnel mode GRE multi-point. Tripping. Tunnel mode GRE multi-point. Boom. Alright. Straightforward. Let's do it here. Conf T. Interface. Tunnel 0. You see it comes back up and it still works because we still did the GRE multi-point. So the tunnel goes down, but it comes right back up. Interface tunnel 0, no tunnel destination. Let's copy that, paste. Boom. Tunnel mode, GRE multi-point. So should be coming up now. Boom, it comes up on branch 2. Let's go ahead and do a trace route. Make sure we still got connectivity. Boom. Even though we know what's up, let's make sure we got connectivity. That trace route, don't even see what happened because the notifications kept coming up. So let's do that again. So boom. Because it's phase 2, it's really like phase 3 where it can go spoke to spoke. It doesn't have to go spoke to hub. So you see this is a little different than we did earlier where it had to go through the hub. We saw the first hop going through the hub. So it would have traveled branch 1 through the ISP to hub. It's not going to show ISP because it's the tunnel. It's basically going straight to the hub. So instead of doing this little triangle motion, it went straight to boom, branch 2 because it's phase 2. Now, let's go ahead and do phase 3. Alright, but before we do that, so spoke tunnels are typically point to point in phase 1, and in phase 2 again, phase 2 and phase 3, just reading over my notes here to let you guys know the same thing that I wrote down. Spoke tunnels are configured as multi-point GRE tunnels. Basically, when we do the tunnel mode GRE multi-point command, allowing them to dynamically establish direct spoke-to-spoke tunnels. So basically what that means is what I said earlier, that now it's just spoke-to-spoke. You don't see that those 2 hops. You just see the hop directly to the next branch. So to make this phase 3 real simple, we're going to go to the hub, show running interface tunnel 0. Does it have the IP NHRP redirect? No. So to make this phase 3, literally that's the only command we need in theory. So interface tunnel 0 IP NHRP redirect. So now this is considered phase 3 because it's redirecting. So that's phase 3. So you guys see it was pretty simple to set that up. You guys really, again, you're going to get this a lot. I got a lab like literally similar to this on the test. And all I can say is doing this, I think I did this lab over maybe 20 times. Again, you got to really make it like muscle memory. You got to remember the commands. Notice how I had the little reminders in my head, like the first IP when doing IP NHRP map is the tunnel, and the second is the physical. You get that confused, you're going to mess the whole lab up, you're going to be troubleshooting. So make sure you understand that. Make sure you know how to set up the whole time. Make sure you know how to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all the differences, because it might ask you, hey, make this from phase 1 to phase 3. It might ask you something like that on the test, so you got to understand the differences, all right? So that is the first lab. Let's go ahead and stop this. All right, boom.